Here's something you should seriously consider if you are going to replace your windows or even build a new home. One of the building codes requires windows to be certain sizes and certain distances from the ground as a fire escape. Now, I couldn't find the information, but I remember that it used to be up to a 3-story building. You would need to verify all of this information anyway with your local building department. But the information I got here is from the International Residential Building Code book, and it's on page 58, section R310. So that would be R310, Emergency, Escape, and Rescue Openings. And this is the 2012 edition. So this I'm not suggesting this is what all building departments will use, but this was kind of a standard I remember while I was working and working with replacing windows and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to suggest that if you replace your original windows, you need to modify these openings, but I would go check with your local building authorities anyway, your local building department. To make sure, because this is something I actually did in the house we lived in. Again, it's one of these things that makes sense. Some building codes might not make a lot of sense to us, but I'm pretty sure they have their reasons behind them. This one actually does make sense to me, and I would suggest you doing it also. So the building code requires a minimum distance of 44 inches from the floor, finished floor, to the top of the window sill. Now this would be the window sill area here. I always tried to make it to the top of the area after the window is opened. Whatever the protruding section of the window, the bottom. This is the area that I'm pretty sure they're referring to. Wouldn't make any sense to have 44 inches to the bottom of a sill that was here and then have a window that opened 6 inches away. That's probably not going to make them happy. So 44 inches from here to the bottom of the window when it's open. And the minimum distance for the height is 24 inches. Clear area after the window is open, and it's 20 inches wide. These are the minimum distances. So you will need to figure out what windows you need accordingly. So I believe most of the windows, if you have a standard header height of 6'10", that's kind of a standard header height. I believe a 3'6" wide window by I believe 4 foot would be the kind of the minimum you could put in. But again, you'd have to verify that with your building. So anyway, I hope that gives you a pretty good idea. This is actually what I did. Took a window out. You can see the original framing here. Here's a piece of drywall. Went in and I did the work on the inside first and just kind of left this alone. And you can see here that this is the top of the drywall, and I lowered it. Let's go back. Top of the drywall, top of the sill. Oops, skipped. Top of the drywall, top of the sill now. And then, of course, here is the window after it is installed. Now, there are other things that you can consider when installing these windows. There are other building codes that suggest distances on the exterior. For example, I found one that is 72 inches. If you have a window, you might have a window on the inside here. The distance might be 44 inches or less. But on the outside, you might have the home might be built a little higher above the ground. And again, I don't know where this falls into with a 2-story home or a 3-story home. All I remember is installing these windows in 2-story homes, and actually got caught on it one time because I didn't think that it would matter. I thought, I'm going to go in and put the window in, and it doesn't need to be a escape route because who's going to jump out of a 2-story window? Wrong. I learned that lesson the hard way. Had to change the windows out and to adjust the framing. This was for a room addition I was doing. And again, this is kind of one of the reasons why I'm making these videos, so that you don't have to go through the same stuff I did. So pay attention here. These windows are important. They can be used as fire escapes, and most building codes require a minimum size, like I just suggested, and a minimum distance here. So before you change out any of your windows in your existing house or build a new home, make sure that you understand this. And again, remember, this is one of those building codes that does make sense for our safety. So let's try and do this when we can.